Today I have a story for you. The title of that story is "I Could Sleep in the Wind tonight." You see, my parents told me the story when I was a kid, and that story has always been in the back of my mind. I haven't always used the lessons of the story, but as I get older, those stories come back. As I have kids, as I tell them their own stories, I realize that the stories are powerful ways of teaching life lessons. And today I want to share with you the story. Some of you might know the story, most of you might not, but whatever it is, I want you to pick up the lessons from the story. And as you plan out the new year and worry about what tomorrow will bring and what's going to lie ahead at the end of 2022, trust me, this story might be useful to you. So this is a story about a little boy. We're going to call him Sam. Now, Sam lived back in time, old America, where kids have to work, just like most parts of the world today. You know, kids have to work and support the family, and one income was not enough, and most people went into agriculture. And Sam had to go get a job. Now, Sam was pretty young, maybe we'll say about 8 years old or so, and he had to go to the market square to look for a job. Now, he went down with his friends, they too looking for a job. So while they were waiting for a job, wondering who's going to hire them, will they ever get a job today, what's going to happen, here comes this farmer. And this farmer was getting old, and he wanted some help on the farm. But he just wanted to hire one person. And he saw this group of boys, three boys just sitting down there waiting, which was typical at the time. And he approached them and said, "Hey, tell me, why should I hire you?" He asked the first kid, "Why should I hire you today?" And he talked about all the things he's done, how he worked on the farm, how he's good with the chickens, and what he could do. He was very attentive. Okay. And then the farmer asked the next kid, "Why should I hire you?" And he too, he went on about all the places he's worked. He's worked for Mr. Peterson, he's worked for Mr. Frank, and, told his life story, how good and strong he was. And finally, he came down to Sam, and he asked Sam, "Why should I hire you?" And Sam said, "I could sleep in the wind tonight." What? "I can sleep in the wind tonight." That's what Sam said to the farmer. Now, the farmer was not too sure what was going on or what he really meant by that, but something about the boy made him feel comfortable. He felt like, okay, let's see what you got. And he hired Sam and took him back to the farm. And days went by, months went by, and everybody forgot about what Sam said or didn't say, and everybody just carried on with the job. And the farmer went on with his work, and Sam went on with his work, and everything was fine. And by the time the rainy season came and the rain started to fall, work was still going on until one night there was a huge storm. In the middle of the night, there was lightning flashing, there was thunder rolling, the breeze, the wind was blowing, and Sam was sleeping. Sam, like any typical 8-year-old boy, had gone to bed. And the farmer woke up in the middle of the night and said, "Oh no, what's going on? My chickens." And he called out, "Sam, Sam, Sam." Sam lived on the other side of the farm in the shed, but Sam, there was no response. And the farmer was getting worried now. He called out louder, "Sam, Sam." He tried to peer through the darkness to see if everything was in place, but he couldn't tell for sure. So he took his lamp, took his raincoat, took his boots, and tried to make his way out to check if the band and the animals were okay. And so as he was going, he was getting upset. What have I done? Why did I hire a kid to do a man's job? Oh, what have I done? This little boy, look at him sleeping. Now when I need him most, he's asleep. And so finally the farmer gets to the first barn, and he peers inside and looks and sees the horses. All the horses are well kept in the stable. They got blankets to cover them. And then he said, "Wow, okay, but I need to check the chickens." And so he makes his way down to where the chickens are and the chicken coop, and he looks in the chicken coop, and the chickens are tucked in. There's a little fire to keep them warm, and he's feeling impressed now. He said, "Okay, I need to check the pigs and the goats." And he goes round all of the animals, and every time he gets there, everything is in place. And suddenly, it hits him. He remembers what Sam told him when he met him at the market. "I could sleep in a wind tonight." As I think back on the stories, I ask myself, I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know what this year has for me. There will be storms for sure. You know, we never promised anything. People this year promise you're going to have a breakthrough. You're going to. Well, I cannot promise you what tomorrow will bring. All I can tell you is that one thing that we have promised for sure is that there will be opportunities mixed with difficulties. The mix might be different. Some countries have better opportunities than difficulties, and some places have more difficulties than opportunities. But I guarantee you the mix is the same. For all of us, whether you're rich, poor, black, or white, we are all presented with opportunities mixed with difficulties. Here's what you must do. Instead of worrying about the opportunities or the ratios of opportunities to difficulties, here's what you must do. We must do like Sam. Whatever our hand finds to do, we must do it with all our might and with all our strength. And you have to focus on the task at hand and get it done so that when the rain comes or the sun shines, you could go to bed and sleep, especially when the rain comes. Now, Sam didn't know which day the storm was going to blow, but he did his job faithfully. He did his job diligently. And so when the rains came and the farmer couldn't sleep, he was fast asleep. Now, I don't know what this year will bring for you. I don't know if there will be storms in your life, in your marriage, in your job, in your family, in your personal life. But what I do know is that if you do the best you can, if you do all that you possibly can, that's all we ask to do. We are asked to do enough. Enough is not a number. Just do everything that you possibly can. I guarantee you, if you do that this year, right now, God and everything else will make sure that you're okay. And 2022 will be one of your greatest year ever. That is my prayer for you. This is my wish for you. I wish you a happy new year. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be having more of this coming up, and we'll like to grow together, share together. Have a wonderful year.